Right, welcome back, everyone. So today we're going to be looking at the song Flattening of Emotions by Death. This is the opening track on the fourth album, Human. I did a little lesson last week on Suicide Machine, which is the second song of that album. I've also done a playthrough of Flattening of Emotions a while back, so if you actually have a look in the link below, I'll put up the link so you can check me out playing that song. So this is like I said, the opening track begins with a massive drum roll by Sean Reinhardt, who sadly left us earlier this year. Just a little bit of background on Human, really. If anybody knows the story of Death, you probably might have known that after the third album, Spiritual Healing, Chuck really pretty much suffered like a meltdown. Didn't come to the tour that was the European tour that was scheduled with Creator. And then pretty much, I think Terry Butler and Bill Andrews got some session musicians to work to do the tour. Actually, I think it was actually their roadie. Anyway, so at that point, it did look like Death was done because that was, as meltdowns go, that was a pretty big meltdown. But Chuck came back with probably one of the most influential death metal albums of all time, with Human. Influential because it sort of sparked the whole wave of more technically orientated death metal, I think. Also because suddenly the musicianship went up a few notches. Now, no disrespect to Terry Butler and Bill Andrews, who did a great job on the first few Death albums, but already with James Murphy on Spiritual Healing, you could feel Chuck was sort of pining for slightly more, more technical players to be able to express his music. And on Human, he really managed to get that with both Paul Masvidal on guitar, Sean Reinhardt, that pretty much revolutionized extreme metal drumming at that point, and obviously the great Steve DiGiorgio with fretless bass. So really, it was an amazing lineup of musicians, and that delivered an absolutely crushing album. So anyway, without much further ado, let's have a look to Flattening of Emotions, how that song goes, and we'll talk about all the different riffs. All right, the song begins after the drum roll begins with a diminished sounding riff. Let me play you the riff first, and then I'll break it down for you. Right, so that's the intro. So notes-wise, fairly simple. We tuned everything is in standard D, but I will refer to everything again in the concert pitch to keep it easier for this video. We begin with an open E string, then the 5th fret of E, and then 6th fret of A, so a diminished chord. And we play that twice, and then we tail off the riff with the same idea, but this time going 4 on the E and 5 on the A. Right, the difficulty in this particular riff, in the first part of the riff, is the fact that we've got a triplet feel. Now, what I would suggest you do when you practice this riff is perhaps instead of actually looking at your left hand, focus on the right hand. Now, when you're playing triplet patterns, please make sure that you're following the metric of triplets, which is down, up, down, up, down, up. So one group of triplets will start on a downstroke, and another group of triplet would start on an upstroke, just to keep the metric. Don't do what a lot of my students end up doing initially, is down, up, down, down, up, down, down, up, down, down, up, down. That's not what we're looking for here. We're looking for a really strict kind of sound. So one way to practice this is just to sit on the muted strings and go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then do 3 hits on the other one. So you'll be going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, and then you'll be coming back to the beginning of the riff with an upstroke. And then you'll be back on a downstroke. So you'll be sort of moving around. So just practice that sort of triplet feel. So the riff begins with going 3 on the open E, 3 on 5th fret of E, and 3 notes on the A string. And then we tail off, so we do that twice, and we tail it off with 4 on the E and 5 on the A. Okay, right, then just like in Suicide Machine, Chuck develops the idea of the intro a bit further by introducing a power chord on the tail of the riff. So instead of playing the 6th fret of A, what he does, he actually plays a power chord. So you're the 6th fret of A and the 8th fret of D. So still using those open E and 5th fret of E. and then telling it off with a similar idea, 4 of E with a power chord on the A string, which is a D power chord in this case, 5th fret of A and 7th fret of D. Right, and that's actually the intro, okay? Right, there is a harmony on top of that Paul Masvidal is playing. And the notes he's playing are open E, 7th fret of A, and then he's playing the 8th fret of D. And he's telling that off with 6 on the A, and then 7th of D. Right, and that's for the intro. Let's have a look now at the verse riff. Okay, the verse riff begins, it's effectively mostly power chord of F sharp, broken down. So what we're doing, let me play it first and then I'll break it down for you. Okay, so what we're doing here, so we're going 4th fret of A, then 2nd fret of E, open E, then back to the 2nd fret of A, and then open E. Right, so on that E, we're chugging along on that E, so we're gonna go. Right, okay, and we're chugging for 2 beats of 16 notes, so it's 8 16th notes. 1 E and 3 E and 4 E and do. And then we repeat the same idea, but this time instead of chugging on the open E string, we chug on the F. Okay, and then we tail off that riff again with the same start, with the power chord, broken up power chord. And then the note, which we tremolo pick a sort of harmonic minor scale. We're going. Okay, so let me break that down for you. We're going open E, 3rd fret of E, 4th fret of E, open E, 1st fret of E, 3rd fret of E, open E, and then finish off on the 1st fret of E. Okay, and these are all groups of 4 16th notes, okay? So the whole riff will sound like this. Okay, so that's for the verse riff. Now, before going into the next riff, Chuck does do a little bridge. He does a little bridge, which is effectively taking that power chord again, and then he's landing on that 3rd fret there. Okay, so let's have a look at the next riff. Okay, so. Okay, so the next riff, we begin on the 4th fret of E, and we're chugging on that 4th fret of E for 2 beats, and then we go. So we're going 7, 6, 7 of the A, 6 of the A, and then we land on the 3rd fret of E, and we're chugging on, we tremolo picking on that 3rd fret of E for 2 beats. Right, then we go back to that 4th fret. Sorry. So what we do here, we add it. So let me actually play because it's a slightly tricky riff. So we're starting off here. Okay, so what we're doing here, we're going 7th fret of E, 7th fret of E, 6th fret of E, 7th fret of A, 6th fret of E, 5 of E, 4th fret of E, and then 5th fret of A. So. Okay, so it's a huge chromatic little run going 7 of A, 6 of E, 5 of E, 4 of E, and then finish on the 5th of A. Let me play you that again slowly. Okay, then we're playing again the same idea. So 4 of E, 7 on A, 6 on E, 3rd of E, and then instead of doing that big chromatic run, we slightly change that end. So let me play that. So what we're doing here, we're going 5, 4 on A, 5 on E, 6 on E, and then finish on the 5th of A. So let me play you that whole sequence slowly. Okay, so again, one more time slowly, I'll play you both repeats. And that's for the little bridge riff. Now let's have a look at what happens after that, which what I would say sounds like a chorusy kind of riff. And these are lots of power chords that come into play here. So we go, we start on the 4th fret power chord of G sharp, and we go into a power chord of G. and then 2 open E's, and then we go F sharp to G. Then 2 open E's again, then we go B flat to A, right? And then 2 open E's. Oh, sorry, then it's a C sharp, C, and then G. So let me play that riff. Right, one more time. G sharp to G, 2 open E's, F sharp to G, B flat to A, and 1 open E here to go into a C sharp, C, G sharp. Okay, and that's for the sort of, I would say, the little bridge riff. Let's have a look now at the little melodic riff that comes in after this particular riff. Right, so what happens here? It's a little melodic riff using a sort of a majory kind of scale over it. So we're starting on the 5th fret of A, sorry. We're going 5, 4, then 5 of E, then 7th of A, then back to the 5 of A. And then here, what we're going to do on the 4th fret of A, we're going to do a quick hammer pull off on the 4 to the 5th, back to the 4th of A. Alright, so. Then we go into the 5th of E, then 4th of A, back to the 5th of E, then 4th of E, and then we do a tremolo picking for 2 beats on the E. Actually, sorry, 4 beats. Right, then we do the tail of that riff. Right, so we're the 5th fret of A, then 5th fret of A, 4th fret of A, 5th of E, 7th of A, 5th of A, 4th of A, 5th of E, 7th of E, 5th of A, 4th of A, 5th of E, 4th of E, and then this time around we tremolo pick on the 1st fret of E, on the F effectively. So let me play you that. Okay, now there is a little swing in that riff, so when you listen to it, try to see if you can pick out that little swing. He's not playing extremely straight. Like I said, there's a slight little swing to it, very much what I would call like a death kind of swing. Okay, and then that's for this melodic riff. There is effectively a harmony which is just the same thing played up an octave. Sorry. Right, so what we're doing, we go on the 7th fret of G, 6th fret of G, 7th fret of D, 9th fret of G, 7th fret of the G, and then we're doing the hammer pull off on the 6, 7, 6 of the G. Then we go into the 7th of D, 6th of G, 7th of D, 6th of D, but the tremolo picking is back on the E string. And then the next part. So what we're doing here, we're going 7, 6 on G, 7th of D, 9th of G, 7th of G. Sorry, let me do that. Yes, and then 7th of D, 9th of D, 7th of G, 6th of G, then 7th of D, 6th of D, and then we tremolo picking on back on D. Right, and then comes the sort of the final main riff of this song, where we basically, let me play it again and then we'll break it down. Right, so what we're playing here, we're gonna pedal on a couple of notes. So we're gonna start on the 6th fret of D, and then we're gonna play 9 triplets over the A string. And then we're going to go up to the 7th fret of D and do the same idea. And then we're back on the 6th. Then we're going to go to the 7th. we're gonna play the 7th fret of D, and we're gonna tremolo pick 4 times, or tremolo pick actually 4 times on the A, and then do the same thing on the 9th. Right, so let me play that again. Right, and then we're going to transpose that riff to a C sharp. So we're going to stay, the notes on the D string are going to stay the same, but the pedal note underneath is going to become the 4th fret of A. Right, so what we're doing here, we're first hitting the 6th of D, and going to the 4th of A, tremolo picking there 9 times. And then going to the 7th of D, tremolo picking on the 4th. Back to the 6th, and then we're going 7th, 4 hits on the A, then we stretch out our pinky to the 9th, and then we finish off tremolo picking on the 4th of A. So these are the actual main riffs of the song. Right, I want to also to talk about the riffs under the solo. So what we have under the first solo, the first solo is Chuck's solo, and it's Paul Masvidal playing the rhythm underneath that, and it's a very simple little riff underneath that. We're going 3 beats of tremolo picking from the 2nd fret of A. So let me play you that. So what we're doing, we're tremolo picking 3 beats over the 2nd fret of A, which is a B. And then we're tremolo picking for 1 beat with 16th notes on the 6th fret. And we're doing exactly the same thing then from the 3rd fret of A to the 6th. And then we're going back and forth. Okay, we do that 4 times, and then we're moving on to Chuck playing the rhythm and Paul playing his great solo underneath that. Now it's very, very simple underneath that. We're just tremolo picking on the F sharp, a whole bar. Then we're doing the same from the 3rd fret, and then we're doing the same thing from the 6th, from B flat. Right, actually, let me just say, we're going 2, 3, 2, 6. So we're going 4 bars of tremolo picking on the F sharp, 4 bars of tremolo picking on the G, 4 bars of tremolo picking again back on the F sharp, and then we finish off 4 bars of tremolo. Oh, sorry, what am I talking about? Full bar of tremolo picking on the 6th fret. So. Okay, so that's basically the essence of the song. Now, very much like a lot of the sort of latter-day death, the structure of the song is fairly simple. So Chuck seems to like going from all these riffs, one after the other, have the solo, and then basically have all the riffs coming back. So in this case, we have all the riff except for the intro back into the song, carrying us right till the end of the song. Basically, the last riff of the song is that sort of riff, this one. And there you go. That's pretty much the essence of Flattening of Emotions. So not a particularly difficult song to play on the guitar. Just get used to some of those riffs, especially the triplet fill riff at the beginning of the song, and you should be okay. Check out the playthrough, subscribe to my page. I'll be posting more and more lessons going forward. I hope this was helpful. Stay home, stay safe, and stay metal.